Okay, just had a bid from S&S Construction. The bid was $1,000 on labor and $1,200 on material. I would have been happy with $1,500 on material. But, okay, here's what we get. 8 by 30 porch. After we measured the porch, it ended up being, I think, 30, but then it was like 8'2" on one end and 8 foot on this end here. Now, I had to just add these steps this morning because I didn't have any steps at all. I was just so frustrated with them after they seeing what they were doing that I just told them to take the money and leave. Because they were supposed to have the job finished in like 2 days. They spent 2 days on it. This is how much lumber I have left over. About total, and those two out there is 2 by 12 or 16, I believe. I have about $400 or $500 worth of material left over. I have a whole bunch of these blocks here, leftovers. Now what we get up to on the roof, you can actually see daylight from the roof where he tied into my old. Now this part up here you can see is not even finished. But he was supposed to just drive the porch in and leave because I was so frustrated with them. Up underneath where they left a lot of the old construction up there, now you can see the hurricane clips are just barely on some of the, that's the old board that was left up there from my put together porch from 7 years ago. And you see all the hurricane clips, every one of them are like that. Barely have one screw hanging in on the old board. All the old stuff has not been tore down. Like he just left it up there. Now here we're getting to where we see daylight underneath. Hose. The screws, where they shot screws all the way through the flashing, they somehow had to bend the flashing into like an L shape to fit instead of just laying it straight over on top like they're supposed to. There's another hole right back there we can see. There are several of these holes up through the roof. More of the old stuff, more of the old flashing left on there that they just kind of laid over on top of instead of tearing it apart. The whole thing is like that. Now this part over here, I actually told him to just leave it like it is and I would fix it because my power pole, he wanted to take, you have about a 4-inch gap here, maybe 5. He wanted to actually cut a notch out of the whole sheet and lay a whole sheet up around it. That's not appropriate at all. You see over here where my door is supposed to be, door's not framed in at all, nothing. They just left a blank spot, still no steps, so I'm gonna have to rebuild steps. I'm gonna have to reframe both of my doors in. Underneath it was supposed to be covered with this type of wire on the bottom, which I had to put up last night to keep my dogs in, just so I can let them out in the yard to go to the bathroom and stuff. I put that up. He was supposed to put that up, and he was supposed to screen in the whole top part of this. Now this up here was supposed to be a handrail that went around with either a 2 by 12 or a 2 by 16 for a handrail. He put 2 by 6s up here. Actually, his helpers were, I don't know why he even had them with him. What?
Tore up the fence?
Oh yeah, they kind of demolished my fence when they was tearing down the old one. Now I got 2 pit bulls and 2 chihuahuas. They're good dogs, but still they need to be in the fence. They actually broke this thing here over. Well, never mind. But yeah, they broke that thing there over. The fence was actually just kind of caved in over on top of it. Let me show you this part back here. Underneath that, I'm not going to really complain too much about this because it might actually work. Underneath it where we had all the concrete pads and stuff, like I said, we had all that stuff over there left over. But this part over here, where these two had fell down, it was right here on the corner. And there was actually like a 4-inch gap between those pads and the decking, the deck, porch, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, they wasn't even touching. There's nothing there, and they're holding it. Here on the roof, look at this end of this tin. And you see how crooked and offset all that crap is? Now at first I told him, hey, when he showed me this part right here, I was like, hey, don't worry about it. It'll be all right. We can handle that little offset. But I didn't know we was going to have an offset on every other freaking piece all the way down the freaking porch. Now, the reason that happened, he tried to blame it on his partner, Ron, I think his name was. Said Ron didn't do it right. Well, he put the porch up by himself. And what?
I was waving.
Oh, hi. He put the porch up himself. Him and his brother, I believe. Now, this is the reason they're off. Now, if you look up here, the metal is actually touching the house on the first sheet. As you go down, you see the metal going away from the house. And when you get down here, it's almost 4 inches away from the house. That's where the problem's coming in at. Now, I'm going to have all kinds of leaks there, and I'm going to have to get up there and fix all that crap myself. Once it was all said and done, like I said, I was quoted. Originally, he said $500 labor. And I told him, hey, man, I'll give you $1,000 labor because, you know, you're a professional. You're going to do me a good job. I'll do you good. So we agreed on $1,000. My wife comes up a little bit later and tells him, hey, you know, if y'all can get it done within 2 days, get it done this weekend, we'll give you a little bonus on it. So I'm thinking, okay, $300, maybe $400. It'd be worth it. Well, somehow he got in his head that he's supposed to get $2,000 instead of $1,000 because my wife said they're going to give him a bonus. Now, I don't believe she specified what kind of bonus she was going to give him, but that's what I'm thinking, $300 or $400. That sounds good to me. Well, I get the bill later on. Labor price on it was $2,000, and I was like, hey, I'm not good with this fella. What the hell's going on? Oh, well, your wife said this and your wife said that. I said, no, sir, I'm the one controlling the money. You need to talk to me. I'm the one hiring you. I said, I'm not going to pay you $2,000. Another thing that kind of pissed me off about it, here you can get another angle of the porch. The 4-inch gap here, somewhere in there. I can't point to it, but anyway, you can see it. So anyway, another thing that pissed me off. We were quoted, like I said, originally $500 on material, and I knew myself. I've done a lot of construction. I knew myself that wasn't a realistic value. So I figured, okay, if he quoted me $500, it's going to be $1,000 easy. First day we spent $1,300 and something.
What size boards are those?
2x6s. The very first day we spent $1,300, and I was like, oh man, y'all are killing me. This is double what you quoted me. I said, I would have went $1,000 easy, but you know, we're up to $1,300 on the very first day. That's without ordering anything for the roof. All these handrail things here was supposed to be in my roof joist for the top up here. Apparently they decided to do handrails first instead of doing roofs and all the 404s and stuff. So we had to go back and rebuy stuff for the roof that we had already bought the first time. That was another, what, $900 and something? I think total we ended up paying from a $1,200 bid, from a $500 bid to a $1,200 bid, we ended up paying like $2,500 or $2,600 materials. And like I said, we still got $400 or $500 worth of material sitting over there. That was over what we needed and what we wanted. So overall, a $2,000 porch turned into easy $4,500 porch, and it's only halfway finished. And the stuff that they actually did do, I'm not happy with. So this is all from S&S Construction. What was the name? Sylvester. And I believe his buddy's name, his white guy's name is Ron. And he had 2 helpers, and then he went and got his brother to come and help him. And his helpers were not worth the crap. So that's my review on S&S Construction. Thank you. Bye-bye.